Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just got finished an awesome workout. The reason for this video is to address a question that I received earlier today. Just before working out, I checked my inbox and I had a question asking about jumping rope barefooted. And if you followed this channel for a while, you will have seen me jump rope with no shoes on, no socks, bare feet a few times. So for beginners, I wouldn't recommend jumping rope barefooted. When you jump rope barefoot, there's a number of things to consider. One, the ground that you're jumping on. You want to make sure it's free of debris or anything that might stick in your foot or cut your feet. If you've spent a lot of time walking around bare feet, the sole of your foot would be tougher than someone who is always wearing shoes and socks. A lot of times these days people even wear their shoes basically from the moment they rise in the morning. They might put on slippers and they'll slip in their shoes, and for the most part they might wear their shoes all day, even inside a house. So to jump rope barefoot, it's a good idea to kind of first condition your feet to even just getting used to walking barefoot. Jumping rope barefoot, you need to have strong ankles, strong Achilles. You want to make sure you're properly warmed up if you're going to attempt jumping rope. And the reason I say I wouldn't recommend jumping rope barefoot for beginners is often because, one, technique is not at a high enough level yet, which means you might jump far too high off the ground. And if you're coming down, landing on the ground, on the toes, the balls of your feet, that can put a lot of pressure on the bones in your feet, your ankles, your Achilles tendon, and even up your leg as well, even your hip, for example, your lower back. So the shoes give you a little bit of cushioning. If you hit your feet or whack your toes into the ground, especially if you're jumping too high, that could be extremely painful. Also, when you're new to jumping rope, there's a tendency for the rope to get caught in your legs or to whack your feet. So if you're jumping rope barefoot and you're hitting yourself over and over with the rope, that can become pretty painful. Some people, they do learn through a means like that. So for example, if they're hitting themselves in the foot, that can be almost like a Pavlov technique, where they don't want to keep repeating that. They don't want to keep hitting themselves in the foot. So it can help them to improve their technique maybe quicker. That might work for some people. For the general population, if you want to try jumping rope barefoot, make sure first your skill level is at a sufficient level. Make sure you're not jumping too high off the ground. The lower you jump off the ground, the less impact there's going to be on your feet, the sole of your feet, your ankles, your Achilles tendon. So technique, really important. You don't want to be jumping too high off the ground. You want to make sure your feet are, warmed up, your ankles, your Achilles tendon. So those are a few things to keep in mind. And if you do try jumping rope barefoot, don't do too much too soon or too often. Just try it. If you want to try it. Maybe only do it for a short period of time, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, for example, so you can gradually introduce barefoot skipping into your sessions, if that's something you would like to try. Maybe first just experiment walking around barefoot, and then try jumping barefoot without using a rope first. Just practice going up and down without using a rope. Get the feeling of what it's like to land on the ground in bare feet before you introduce a rope, before you introduce something that could hit your feet or cause you to use improper technique. So the last thing we want jumping rope, our exercise habits, to do is to injure us. We're supposed to get stronger and healthier through these practices.